This episode of the SmoshCast is brought to you by Jenny Life.
I think some people have like this like warped sense of like, oh, when you run out of ideas, it's over. People have been telling me that Smosh ran out of ideas in 2007.
Nobody's seeing this, but you're really wanting someone to tell you something nice and they're not doing it. So you see me, and so you sort of have to bring me down a peg or two. It's not okay that you're doing that, but I do understand why you got there.
I love Twitch because it feels like you're peeking behind the curtain. You are getting as close to like a real shoot in real time. Validation doesn't come from the outside, it comes from the inside. What is your worth in the world? Only you can find it, no one can tell you any different.
Yes!
Damn straight, Sarah Whittle. Whoa, what's up, gamers and non-gamers and people that don't even know what a gamer is?
I think you covered everyone.
Well, I think I covered everyone. There's three categories of people. Mm-hmm. Non-gamer.
I don't know if this introduction was better than you belching into the microphone or whatever.
That wasn't a belch.
It was a scream.
That was me expelling all the sputum from my throat.
Sputum?
Sputum.
Sounds like a German dish.
Oh, Spätzle.
Oh,
Ich möchte Spätzle essen.
Ich möchte.
Ah.
Mit Schweinefleisch.
We should just do a whole podcast speaking in German, and then Ian will just not know what's happening. And I'll know.
I'll do. Ich mein Lieber. Does that mean something? Is that it's my love?
Love?
I my love. I my love.
I imagine you like disheveled in Germany. Yes, exactly. Just like, please, I my love.
I my love. They're like, would you like some beer? And I'm like, I my love. Sir, why are you naked?
You did it.
I my love.
How did you and I have the same mental image of you just half naked in Germany begging people? Like the second you said, I my love, I'm like, yep, that's what that comes from.
You guys spend so much time together, you've synced up.
That's true.
Synced.
We're best friends.
When I'm in Germany, I hope I'm half naked.
Okay.
This is the German way.
I feel like that's what's gonna happen. If I ever make my way to Oktoberfest.
We had talked about that this year.
I was going to go this year. That was my 2020 plan.
We were all going to go this year then.
You were going to go this year too?
Yeah. I think it was.
Oh, that would have been insane.
That would have been straight up bonkers.
I talked about wanting to go.
That's
a bucket list.
And Kevin was planning to go too. Apparently, we're all going to do a pilgrimage to Germany this year.
We're going to take a Smosh pilgrimage. Not this year, because that sounds really unsafe.
Oh, because the global catastrophe. Yeah.
Yeah, the Bitcoin is low. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I want to do Oktoberfest.
One day.
This year, honestly, I was like planning to go to Japan in the spring. We were going to go to Germany and Italy for a wedding. This year was going to be the year of me traveling.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I got all my travel wigglies out right before everything hit the fan.
I know, but we were in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I traveled more than I've ever traveled. Like in the first 3 months of 2020.
You did.
I got it all out, baby. I got.
And we went on tour.
Yeah.
And we went on tour. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I went to a lot of places and really filled out my dating profile with really cool travel photos. So I look super interesting.
Sowing your seed across the world.
Damien, I like how your thumb matches your hat.
Okay.
Thank you. I coordinated.
For those that are listening and not seeing this right now, Damien is wearing this very nice purple Twitch hat. And he appears to have a matching purple cast on his thumb.
It's more of like a wrap. I did a terrible job. It looked great before this morning, but I had to rewrap it.
So, Damien, why do you have a Twitch purple wrap on your thumb?
You tried to Thanos snap because did it too hard.
That's true.
That's
it reversed, and I had Ron Weasley's wand, and it reversed upon me. No, so I was making an awesome sandwich last night with a really hard baguette. And I started cutting it on the table as you're supposed to do, and I couldn't really get it started. And so I lifted it up just to like start the most gentle like corner of the bread, just to get a little.
How stale is this bread?
It was like a day old, but it's a baguette. Baguettes can have really
I know they're
crunched
crusty, but they
what
should
kind of
be
knife
like...
were you using? Were you using a bread knife?
Are you gonna let me get? Yes, I was using a bread knife. It was a
I don't
proper
think
bread
I was
knife.
using a bread knife.
I was using the. Oh, you want to look at the cut and tell me whether or not I was using the Ridge bread knife? So I held it up to start the corner, and it immediately slipped. And sorry for squeamish people. Check back in 3 minutes. I've got a nice little like sort of wraps around from like the left side just under my fingernail to like the right side a little closer, like midway to the knuckle. It was a lot.
So
So
it stayed on.
Well, so it stayed on, yeah. But initially, when I looked at it, I was just like, "Ah, damn! I feel like an idiot." And I went upstairs, and I have my own like liquid stitches stuff.
Yeah.
So I like painted it
Super
on real
glue?
quick, and it immediately was like not working. And I was like, "Ah, man!" And then I moved a little bit, and I saw the actual situation I was dealing with. And I was like, "Okay, time to go." Yeah. So
That makes me so squeamish.
I'm sorry, but
No, keep going.
But thankfully, it was an urgent care that I really like, and I was the only patient in there.
Oh,
and,
that's nice.
It was awesome. And they were like, "We don't know if we can do this. You usually need like a hand specialist for stitches, but we'll at least take a look at you." And the person that took a look at me was like, "Oh, we can just like derma bond you, which is like skin glue." And I was like, "That's dope."
It's just super glue, right?
I mean, more or less.
It's kind of like, it's probably just high-powered liquid stitch.
I literally asked,
used.
I was like, "Can I get this over the counter?" And they're like, "Not quite." I was like, "Damn it."
Oh, interesting. Because I think that's how super glue was invented.
It is,
like
yeah.
in Vietnam,
Oh.
like it was invented as like a field medic kind of way of closing up wounds.
It's,
Yeah.
Did not
it's pretty
know that.
bonkers. That being said, don't use super glue unless you're in a survival situation. There are better options.
Yes.
Yeah, so it didn't hurt in the moment, but then once
Yeah.
adrenaline wore off, it was a little rough. And when they had to clean it out, they used like a really high powered like nee of like water. And so they were like, "Hold this bucket under your hand, please." And I was like, "What's the bucket for?" And they were like, "Okay, just tell us if you need a break." And I'm like, "What's the bucket for?" And it just
like your tears.
that hurt a lot. Yeah, more or less tears. It reopened like a minute before the podcast started, so that's why I had to rewrap it. Yeah. But they were like, "We can't do anything for you for another few hours at the urgent care." So I was like, "I'll do the podcast."
Oh, great. So you just
here
start
I
getting
am.
lightheaded in the middle of the podcast. Yeah.
I was extremely tired for the rest of the day yesterday, and I was
Oh,
like, I think I
no.
need. Usually they give you juice and a cookie, so I need to.
I did almost like one time I had to do like a fasted getting my blood drawn
Oh,
thing,
really?
and they took I think like 4 or 5 vials out, and like by the third one I was like, "Guys, I'm feeling lightheaded."
But I mean,
That's
like
funny.
the vials doesn't. I mean, when you're donating blood, you're giving way more blood.
I know, but
than
I was
those- than those
fasting
little-
for 12 hours before.
Oh, you were fasting.
Yeah, because
Sorry,
it
I
was
missed
the
that.
blood test needed me to be
Mhm.
not have food
Ooh.
in my system, and so they took so much
Oh.
blood, and I have very thin blood already,
Mm.
and it was like I felt myself getting woozy, and I was like, "Guys, we gotta quit doing this pretty soon. I'm feeling weird."
Yeah.
That reminds me of the John Mulaney joke when he's talking to the nurse and he's like, "Hey, I get a little woozy when I give blood," and the doctor said, "You're fine." So when I woke up,
And he was wearing glasses to show that
Yeah,
time had passed.
Exactly. Oh, that John Mulaney.
You didn't
Anyway,
even introduce us.
I
to
didn't
this
even
podcast,
introduce you
or
guys.
what this podcast is.
No,
God,
I
let's
didn't.
start over.
So maybe we'll put this at the beginning. What's up, everybody?
You can't do that now.
This is Ian Hecox here on the SmoshCast, joined by 2 lovely people,
Where
Damien
are they?
Haas
Oh.
at Damien Haas Gamer Boy.
Nope.
19.
Nope. Someone's gonna take that. Someone's gonna take that.
You're right. That's just
That Damien.
also joined by the illustrious Sarah.
Woo!
Yeah, that's
Whittle?
my name.
Clap, clap,
Yeah,
clap,
Is that your
clap,
name?
clap, clap,
Okay.
yeah.
got
Sarah
it.
Gamer is my gamer tag.
Please, Sarah Gamer was my father. Please call me Mr. Professor Dr. Sarah Gamer.
Today we're gonna be talking about Twitch, about the fact that we launched a Twitch channel last week. Well, I mean, it's last week to us right now, but it's 2 weeks ago for you guys.
Oh God!
Because
2 days
time
before the
travel.
day after tomorrow.
For those of you that don't know, so the reason why we thought it'd be good to have myself and Damien and Sarah on is because Damien is sort of our resident Twitch boy.
I'm a Twitch boy.
Damien has spent, I guess you could now say years.
Almost 2 years.
On Twitch.
Wow.
Almost, yeah.
Time flies.
Almost 2 years on Twitch.
I already owned this hat before today, so.
And then Sarah is our director of Unscripted. So she has taken on a lot of this Twitch responsibility in regards to programming and like what we do on there. Mm-hmm. We also have another guy who you guys might have like seen pop into streams, like his arm and stuff, Lane, who's like running the day-to-day sort of like Twitch operations. Mm-hmm. But
I don't know if we talked about like since like the couple of times I've been on the podcast, my like job role, and that it changed at the top of the year. So
that's
like
right.
I used to be head of the social team and kind of like all the non-YouTube programming, and then at the top of the year hopped over as director on Unscripted to oversee Smosh Pit and Smosh Games and now Twitch.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hells yeah.
So actually we have a couple questions here.
Oh.
Yeah. We fielded some questions related to our Twitch. Some of you guys have some burning questions.
Mm-hmm.
Know that some of the popular questions, if we don't get to them, we see them.
They're a work in progress.
We see your questions. We are not ignoring them. They are all a work in progress.
Mm-hmm.
So if you see something that we haven't answered, that has been asked a lot, trust us. We see it. We're working on it.
Find 4 more ways to say it.
We have come across some questions. You say WAP?
Yeah, work and progress.
Hey,
oh, okay. Yeah.
That's that Cardinal
Wet ass
Beatrice
progress.
song.
So this first question comes from Lovable Haas.
Hey. Hey.
What a opposite. No, I'm just kidding.
It's true. A face only a mother could love. But she is all 1 million of our viewers. So
I like
1
that.
million moms.
Mm-hmm.
1 million moms?
Mars needs 1 million
That sounds like
moms.
a really good like protest name.
CBS show. Oh.
CBS show. Welcome back to 1 million moms. Like, damn, that's an expensive show. It's literally just like one studio just packed full of 1 million
It's singled
moms.
out, but with moms.
All right. So this Lovable Haas asks, what are your goals for the Twitch channel? Sarah, I guess being that you are, this has sort of been it's not your one responsibility and it's not all on you, but being that it is like Smosh Games is a focus for you, what do you see as some of the goals for the Twitch channel?
Well, just in general, like adding Twitch to Smosh and the whole Smosh like brand, I guess is what you would say. Like, it's a huge deal. It's basically like opening up a whole new YouTube channel. And so we're now in a place where we're kind of like building this thing from the ground up that's completely different than what we've done before. We've done live on Facebook for a while, but that was at Defy, and obviously that was structured very differently. And so this Twitch thing is like a new, exciting challenge that we're all kind of having to face. And luckily we have people like Damien who have been on the platform and know the in and outs from like a personally running it, but now we're figuring out, okay, what does Smosh Games bring to Twitch? And the thing I'm very excited about is like we're gonna consistently now be doing Board AF. And like earlier this year, it's the same year, we had the first episode of Board AF come out, and I think the YouTube viewers and our fans were expecting like a more consistent thing, not knowing that we were kind of planning this big thing to go on Twitch and bring more consistent Board AF. And so I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited about like the viewers and the subs having the ability to affect gameplay in real life, because sometimes when we're shooting the Smosh Games videos, it feels like we're crazy people entering a studio. We do our crazy thing, and then the edit comes out like 3 weeks later. Now we're having an opportunity to like react and be in the moment and be present all in real time.
For
and so
sure.
That's really exciting for me. And then we are going to be cutting down those Board AFs to go on the Smosh Games YouTube channel, just in case people missed it. So that's what I'm really excited for. And like, as far as the goals for Twitch, it's just kind of like to try what we do and innovate what we do on Twitch on a live platform. And it is a challenge. And we have things that are work in progress. We have things that are WAP. And that's kind of like the great thing is like all of our fans are like along for the journey, you know, like you're going to see us grow and adapt and learn new skills and figure it out. And I feel like live is a little more forgiving that we can just be like, Lane, what's the next thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, it's Sarah here. Let's change it up a little bit because this one's for the ladies. Not only do men have more life insurance than women, they have twice as much coverage. Jenny Life wants to change that right now. It doesn't matter if you're a working mom, single mom, expecting mom, single in general, or if your kids are four-legged fur babies, you still need life insurance. You need Jenny Life. Jenny Life makes it fast and easy for women to know their families will be taken care of with life insurance that's uniquely built for your needs. Did you know at one time in the United States it was illegal for women to own a life insurance policy? What? Can you believe that? With Jenny Life, you can get your life insurance policy without blood work or unnecessary red tape, and you can do it all online from your own home. They ask 5 simple questions, curate plans from dozens of A-rated insurance carriers, and give you a personalized, budget-friendly life insurance quote in seconds. For example, a healthy 32-year-old woman can get $500,000 in coverage for about $1 a day without stepping into a doctor's office. Life insurance is something that every woman should have in place because every family deserves a secure financial future. So take a few minutes to get your Jenny Life policy right now. Visit jennylife.com/smosh to get a free quote right now. That's jennylife.com/smosh for your life insurance quote today. jennylife.com/smosh.
Something I'm very excited about, and full disclosure, just a little bit of backstory. I've been on Twitch for almost 2 years now. I started right after Defy shut down and immediately fell in love with it. For my own channel, it was the first thing I'd ever done that felt like it was mine. Like I, as a voice actor, as a YouTube personality, I've always come into something that's already existed. Even like when I was on Disney, Shane and I joined the last season of a show. So it was nice to be able to be like, I'm starting this. And I just fell in love with it. And that's, I consistently want to do it all the time. So I was very precious with it when we first started talking about doing Twitch as Smosh. You know, I've had a lot of people that are part of the community that found me just randomly through the Explore page or knew me through other things or for voice acting, things like that. But a lot of people are Smosh folks. So I was initially like, well, shoot, like I already do this thing where I'm like sitting in front of a camera playing a video game. I don't want to see us do the exact same thing because I don't want to lose my community. Like I was, legit worried. But I think what is actually exciting about this and what I want to see and what it seems like we're doing is what can Smosh do that I cannot? What can Smosh do that the average one person with a camera in their room can't do? Because even if I had a big grandiose idea and put together something, I could make that happen. But to have a team working on it, to have multiple cameras, to have a studio, to have a tech squad, it's there's so much more freedom of movement there. So like, yeah, I'm less excited about, like, I don't think we're going to be doing like one person on a camera playing a video game kind of deal. I'm excited to see a group of people play a board game together. Like, that's awesome. That's Critical Role. That's other popular channels. And it's also nice to not have to, although I'm like offering expertise, quote unquote, when I can, it's not on me to like start to finish setup. What am I going to be doing today? How am I going to get this to work? So there's a little bit of like freedom of movement there too. So that's exciting.
This is something that we have been planning for a long time. Like, it wasn't something that we just looked at Twitch and we were like, oh, people are successful over there, we couldn't do that too. Like, this is something that we've been planning for a long, long time. We spent a lot of time preparing for it, getting the right team for it.
It got delayed because of COVID and kind of the uncertainty of that situation.
Yeah, I mean, we were supposed to launch like months ago. I think we did the right thing by holding off and just making sure everything was truly ready to go. We want to give you guys the best possible experience right from the get-go. So
and also doing it in a safe, responsible way too. Like that's a priority. That's a priority that none of us anticipated at the beginning of this year, but that's like that now has completely changed productions at every level, even like from the Goldbergs, for
Yeah.
big productions like that to small productions like YouTube companies or podcasts or whatever.
I don't know if this is too inside baseball, but just like to double down on how safe we're being. I wasn't able to be in the stream yesterday because I didn't get a COVID test in time. Like we want to be safe and have everybody be on the up and up and all that stuff. And because I wasn't, it's like, all right, well then we don't have you.
You know, Damien, as you were saying, the difference between like your stream and our stream, it is that like we want to be able to deliver what we see as sort of like the, you know, without, I mean, there's no way to say this without sounding cheesy, but like deliver the Smosh experience.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
you get a certain experience from Smosh videos.
No, totally.
On YouTube, and you know, whether it's on Smosh Games or Smosh Pit or the main channel, and we want to give that same kind of like special experience on Twitch. Our sort of interpretation of what a live experience should be.
Totally.
I think it's not something wholly new. It's not something that like we went in and say, no, we're going to do it our way. Like we still took a lot of advice from Twitch and from the people that do it successfully. I think one of the best nuggets of advice that I think we got from Lane, who's been streaming for a good long while and has done a lot of really creative things. He was like, this isn't like doing like Saturday Night Live, or this isn't like doing a live show on television where you have to be on and just like fully engaged for 3 hours straight. Like it needs to be a little bit more relaxed. Like the audience can accept you up or like, you know.
Yeah, totally. Like I that was like the biggest thing was like, I love Twitch because it feels like you're peeking behind the curtain. And especially when it comes to what like we're trying to bring to Twitch, like you are getting as close to like a real shoot in real time, and you're not seeing any cuts, and you're seeing the mistakes, and you're seeing the flubs or the questions. And like, to me, that makes me feel like I'm a part of it. That makes me, as a viewer, it makes me feel like I'm hanging out with everyone. And that's why I really like Twitch.
Yeah, very much so.
I think also to the point of like Damien's Twitch channel versus like the Smosh Games Twitch channel. Yeah, I this goes for like YouTube programming too. When you look at it as a whole, and I'm looking at like Smosh Pit and Smosh Games YouTube programming, it's like, okay, let's say like a trend is happening, and it's like, oh, this trend, this YouTube video trend is popping off. We can't just produce or replicate what someone else is doing for our channel. We have to figure out what is the Smosh twist, as corporate and lame as that sounds. That's the creative process. It's like, okay, this thing is trending. How can we put our Smosh spices on it to make it for our audience? And I think as like a creative person that wants to like be a part of digital media, like that's kind of the analytical creative meeting each other. You got to get both parts of those brains working together to like try and get the best result. And at the end of the day, you never know how the audience is going to react.
And there's some extra expediency there as well. Like sometimes the way we produce things, there will be a trend and we'll film it as soon as possible. But after like edits and the way our schedule already is, we're a month late. Whereas with Twitch, you can just hop right in. And to your point there, Sarah, I also think like what's been really cool and what I've really appreciated is, you know, everybody is aware of how important my Twitch community is to me and my ability to stream and all that stuff. And it hasn't just been like, yeah, we hear you. It's like, I really do feel heard, which is nice. So I think that there has been good communication. Like, for example, like, are you laughing at me or your cat?
No,
all three cats open the door and coming in.
This is like that interview where they're like, the little girl just hops in. Yeah. But yeah, no, what's been good about like communication is like, for example, when we were doing our big live stream extravaganza, Matt was like, hey, don't go anywhere. We're going to be doing more stuff. Subscribe because you want to check some things out. And who knows, maybe we'll be doing some VR chat content. Damien, you like that, right? And I was like, uh-huh. And like, as soon as we were done, I turned to him. I was like, hey, man, I'm sorry. I've actually been teasing doing VR chat on my own streams for about a month now. Is that cool? Like, and then it was like, yeah, of course. So like, we're not stepping on each other's toes. There's room enough. There's room enough for everybody to have fun. And other than those very rare situations like that, it's going to be different.
And sometimes there's parallel thought, and that's why those things are important to like communicate to each other, because it's like, you know, there is a world where it's like you might have mentioned it in a pitch meeting or not mentioned it at all, and it pops in my brain one day and I say it, and it's like that's when like the communication and kind of like the non-baggage conversation happens, and I think that's very vital and important.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting creative problem. Like the fact that most people that we follow on, you know, whether it's on Twitch or YouTube or Instagram, they're all individual creators. There aren't too many like creative collectives like Smosh that exist. So there's not really a lot of other examples that we can draw on for what we do. I think it's great. Like I don't really ever seeing there being too much overlap between what you do on your personal Twitch and what we're doing. Yeah. And I mean, from the little that we've done so far, I'm really excited to see what happens with the rest of the Twitch. I mean, like I said, we've been planning this for a long time. This isn't like a quick cash grab for us. Like it's, you know, it's a long-term thing. We're gonna be here and we're gonna keep making some sweet
Yeah, and I think when you say creative problem, I think like for me when you say that, I just think of it's a challenge. It's another challenge to kind of like face on, and I think the best creativity comes out of a challenge.
Totally.
And you
sure.
learn the most from how creative can you really get with a challenge. The eat it or eat it, spin the wheel is a perfect example of like being faced with a challenge and trying to troubleshoot and creatively thinking of a way. Because like the reason that format came out was when we were talking about coming back to the studio, because we obviously all were quarantined and not shooting, and we were shooting from home. When we were like, okay, let's get back in the studio. And for me, I was like, I don't want everyone lunging for a bell when we're trying to like, I know we're sitting close to each other and we're all kind of taking the best precautions we can while we're on set. But I'm like, let's just take that layer out where we don't have to worry about, you know, going for a bell.
Contact.
And that's where the wheel was born. And it was, and the fans loved it, and the fans were inspired and had more suggestions, which I always think is a good sign that the creativity sparks more creativity. So that's like a perfect
adding
example.
Garrett to the wheel.
Bleep it out. Actually, bleep out the last 10 minutes.
Well, why not tease it? You guys suggested putting a little sliver for Garrett on the wheel just in case it lands on Garrett, then he has to eat it. And I love that idea.
I love that idea.
I think next time we shoot Eat It or Eat It, we should make that sliver a little bigger.
Maybe.
I think we should make
maybe
it
there
half
are
the board.
more twists coming.
We should have one monochromatic wheel, and the color is Garrett.
Okay.
I have more twists in the works right now.
Ooh.
Yeah. So this next question comes from Violette Vendetta. They asked, do any of you worry about burning out? I worry a little about Damien since he streams 3 other days a week. With all your other content, this is a lot of work for everyone to take on.
Oh, that's so nice of people to notice.
That is very nice. Full disclosure, yeah, definitely. I mean, it's been an ongoing conversation, but when Twitch was originally pitched, because Matt sat down with me and was like very earnest, and he's like, look, this looks like a fun opportunity for us, but I know, you care about your community and, you doing it already. We would do alternating days. So, you wouldn't have to miss your own streams, for our thing. And I was greatly appreciative of that. But that aside, my main concern immediately was like, man, I'm going to be tired. Like people, I don't think realize, and I think a lot of the cast, honestly, who haven't done live things before, didn't really realize how much it can really take out of you if you're really putting yourself out there for like a few hours in a row. So like, even if it fits into the schedule, like, and we're going to be doing it every week, even when we're doing sketch and pit filming things, filming 4 sketches in a day and then going on to Twitch, as I was worried I was going to straight up be dead. But that being said, I've expressed all my concerns and I felt like they were really heard and were already being worked on before I even said anything, of course, because you guys care and already, we're working on things. So it seems like, every person is not going to be in every stream. They're going to really like shuffle around things for filming days where like, It's not going to be in general a 12-hour marathon of things. There will be a day here and there that gets a little spicy, but we're honestly just going to have to see. And thankfully, because it's all of us doing it, it's not like there can't be a conversation about it. I feel like if we do get to the point of like, hey, I'm flipping tired and this is every week, then we'll do something about it. Like,
yeah, I think people's mental state is the number one priority. We don't want to put anyone on live that's like, oh, dude, I can't. But also, I think especially on the shoot weeks, we'll have other casts as well. I think people are going to be seeing other castmates in the streams as well, so that can then relieve some other people of their streaming responsibilities on. So I mean, I think obviously that was our number one concern when we started Twitch, was like, can we even do this? Like, we're already shooting so many other things, and Twitch is a large undertaking. So can we do this without burning out? And I think we got to a place where we think we can. And we want to, like I said, this isn't something that we're doing on a whim real quick. Like, we want to do this for the long term. So in order to go for the long term, we can't kill everyone.
Yeah.
So,
and and we're investing into that too, because it's like, it is something that we're work in progress on, because it's like we have a whole new team, we have new faces that are helping us build this Twitch infrastructure, and then meanwhile we have people in front of the camera. And I think like this year, if anything, taught us like how to find each of our voices and really communicate with each other when we're getting to a point of burnout and everything like that. I think it's unfortunately a thin line between like, working really hard and then getting burned out. It's a thin line, and
it's
that's
quick too.
Yeah, and that's when it's really important to check in with yourself and really figure out, okay, should I push through this, or is this something that I really need to like step back and relax?
It meant a lot also that you guys were open to listening about that, because my initial worry, I'm a worrier, was, if I get really burnt out, there is only one thing that's in my control to change on my own, and that's my own streams. And I did not want those to fall by the wayside. Still don't. Like, I will not let it be like, sorry guys, canceling again, just sleepy. Don't want to do that. So the fact that I was able to come to you and know that like, hey, I'm getting tired. Is there something on our end together that I can chill out on, and that people were receptive to that? That was awesome.
So I think like the most important thing is that we all have each other's backs in this. And
give it back. Give me back my back.
Sorry, no, I got your back. That's important to be able to trust that your team can lift you up in places where you're having trouble.
Yeah, that's the luxury of having a team, is that you aren't doing it all on your own, and you can't worry about every little thing, because it's just that's not the most efficient way to work in a team. And so the great thing is if you're like, hey, I'm overwhelmed, or I have anxiety, or I'm worried about this, or I'm unclear about this, there's a bunch of people on camera and off camera that can like take the load for someone that's like having an off week or just needs the time, or what. You don't even need an excuse. And so that's the luxury of having a team mentality. Like the premiere live stream is a perfect example. We were grinding hard, you guys just got off of a week of shooting all of the sketches, and then we were diving into a week of Smosh Pit and Smosh Games programming, along with the 6-hour Twitch premiere. And Lane and I, the producer, we were kind of going over what each minute of that 6-hour stream was going to be. And in the beginning, if people watched, you notice like I was doing a lot of kind of the like vanilla hosting type of things, and that's because I wanted you guys all to be able to just be present and live in the moment. I'll do all the homework and in that moment take on that workload, so that everyone can feel a little more relaxed and excited in the moment. And so those things happen, and then maybe next week I need a little more help, and then the week after Courtney needs a little bit of help. And that's like the great part, and that's what I love about teamwork.
Speaking of balancing things, Sarah, I wanted to ask you this when we were in last question, and I totally forgot. You come up with a lot of ideas for Pit, for games and things like that. And now we have Twitch. So, Twitch is very different in that, like, there are cut downs sometimes, but in the most part, it lives in a live setting, and that's about it. So when you have an idea, are you ever like sort of precious with it? Like that you're like, oh, I need to save this for a games video, or are you like, oh, this is only going to work on Twitch? Like, how do you balance that?
Well, to be honest, like we're figuring it out. Like I said, we have a whole new team on Twitch. We have a team for Smosh Games and Smosh Pit. We have people who, like Kevin, the Shredditor, for example, he helps a lot with Pit, and he's been helping with Sketch lately. Like everyone's wearing a lot of hats during this time, especially, but just in general, everyone wears a ton of hats. I wear a ton of hats. My main job is director of unscripted. It is not anything to do with being on camera. And so that's not under my job duties at all. So it is a balancing act, and we have a very talented team. So luckily we have Lane, and he has a ton of ideas. Matt and I are always just spitballing ideas and shutting each other down and hyping each other up with different ideas. And I think if you ever want to be either in a creative space or not a creative space, being able to let your ideas change is really important. And you really got to shove your pride aside. And it's like, there's been instances where I'm like, oh, I fucking love this idea, but it's not good for like a video. And then like, what is it? And it's like, you have to be able to be flexible with your ideas, because no one's coming in to like on your idea. No one wants to come and be like, your idea sucks. And Damien, you and I have had like discussions like this where you pitch me an idea and I'm like, okay, that's a great start, but this is where we need to like nip and tuck and make it a little more optimized or whatever. And of course it's subjective because it's a creative environment, but that's when you use your analytical brain and all the analytics you have and your creative brain and trying to put those together and find that sweet mix. Sometimes it hits and sometimes it doesn't. But at the end of the day, like, unfortunately, you got to check your pride at the door and accept that it might be rejected and everything like that.
I think when you talk about you and Matt Robb like working together and shutting each other down, hyping each other up, like each of you are coming in with a different expertise.
Exactly.
Like you each like have a certain thing that and I think that's totally right. You gotta check your ego at the door. And just accept that, maybe you don't know everything and be open to other ideas. And I think that's incredibly important. Yeah.
And like, maybe independent creators have the luxury of just like, coming up with their ideas, doing their ideas and putting it on the internet. But our infrastructure doesn't work that way. But I can tell you, I ask for ideas from everyone and anyone that wants to give them, with the notion of like, this might change. So that's just a part of the process, because we do at the end of the day need to think, how can we make this the best it can be for what we're going for? And and for a while I was running out of ideas. It happens many times where I have kind of creative blocks and I can't think of anything. And that's why the team's important. Yeah,
I think some people have like this like warped sense of like, oh, when you run out of ideas, it's over. People have been telling me that Smosh ran out of ideas in 2007. Like, it's like it's
a metamorphosis. Like a lot of people what worked a year ago, what worked 10 years ago probably won't work right now. And that's why Dancing with the Stars has a new cast every season.
That's why Dancing with the Stars is complete ass. I'm going to say it right now. But like, that's the thing, Ian. Sometimes I'm the newest to the internet in this group, I think. But like, you can't win necessarily, because imagine if you were making the exact same kind of content that you did from 2007, where people are like, I want the old Smosh, except 13 years later, all the comments would then be, look at this grown ass man acting like a kid. He's still doing this. He's still acting like that. You wouldn't win. It's
growth, and some people, and sometimes you hit, second puberty and you're growing in a way that's not ideal, but at least you're learning to adapt and you have to metamorphosize as the time goes. What worked on Smosh Pit a year ago doesn't work now. So what is it? That's a creative challenge that we need to like figure out.
My question is, creatively, how do we get your 3 cats to enter the room several more times?
It's a lose-lose. If I shut the door, they're just gonna be screaming.
I
if
know.
I leave the door open, this is what we're gonna get.
I know.
So we have one more question here. This one comes from 3 Tyler K3. They asked, is it more nerve-wracking being live than just recording? It probably is, because there's no cutting and it's real time. Lol. Love you. Oh, thank you. Love you too. Actually, I don't know you, so I can't say that I love you. But thank you. You know what? Thank you for the love. We appreciate it. I hope you're being safe out there.
For me, I know that like it's probably different for everybody, but not at all. I prefer live to scripted 1,000 times over. I would always do like live improv as a teenager and young adult. Like that was my job when I was like a young adult. I'm way more, even when I did my Disney audition back in the day, they were like, prepare 3 characters. I was like, I'll figure it out when I'm there. Like I'm serious. Like
that's crazy.
But I'm way more comfortable with that than I am with like a whole page of like, this is what the character
wild.
says. But it's what I like. And so, yeah, 1,000 times over, I would do live.
I think for me, my perception of Twitch has changed a lot over this year of talking about Twitch. I think to go back further, somebody I know somebody had pointed out, they're like, wait, didn't Ian say that like Smosh wouldn't really work on Twitch because of like this and that? And I think that is something that I believed, 3 years ago whenever I said that. But my perception has changed. I had a very
whoa, that's crazy. Your opinion changed?
Metamorphosis.
I know.
With more information?
Because I had this very narrow view of what Twitch was. I saw gamers playing by themselves and talking to chat and just playing a game and just sitting there playing a game, which there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But that's not
good.
That's
better not say there's anything wrong with that, Ian.
Except for Damien Haas. But that's not something that I'm interested in doing for Smosh. And I thought at that time that was really the only thing that people really watched on Twitch. And I was like, well, then we can't do it. But as I learned more about Twitch and saw the other creative people on Twitch doing things that weren't just gaming, not that there's anything wrong with gaming solo on Twitch. I was like, oh, there's like a whole entire world here.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, there are artists, there's musicians.
I see people doing tarot card readings. I want to do tarot card readings.
I saw these girls. I think they're twins. I forget their names, but they were
Vanessa and Veronica something. Martell.
No, they were freakishly painted like SpongeBob and Patrick. And then they sang a song about like a love song between SpongeBob and Patrick.
So good.
And it was frightening, but also really funny. But there's
that's what you saw, and you were like, maybe this is a place for Smosh.
No, that was literally last week. But I think like I had this very warped sense of like what Twitch was, and it sounded very nerve-wracking, like going live and like you have to be on all the time, and that's a very like YouTuber mindset of like once the camera's on, you cannot waste a single second. You have to be like, hey, whoa, 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 whoa. The 6-hour live stream, I was maybe a little bit on edge, but now that we're just live streaming, like when we shot the most recent time, I was like, oh, I can just let myself go.
100%.
Maybe I shouldn't have made the joke about if you vote for Courtney, a small child dies. But hey, we're doing it live.
We're all going to have our individual challenges on how we adapt to live.
Yeah, you have to adapt and what jokes you're going to make. I mean, I've had experience in live theater, both improv and scripted, of course, in like local theater in Wyoming, but still experience. I've worked for live television as well as pre-recorded television. And so I was nervous, but not in the way, like I always get the little like nervousness right before like a live performance that I don't usually get when we're recording YouTube videos. It's just a little like bit of adrenaline. As far as live goes, like for me with that 6-hour stream, I really was like, I just want to know what I need to know so that I can like go on. And I saw it as like a challenge again. I was like, okay, these are the things I need to know. These are the things I'm kind of running. You know, that's the thing that Matt's running. That's the thing that Ian's running. Like if everyone gets their thing in check, then like we can forces combine and like do great. And so,
make the Megazord and then save Angel City from Angel Grove.
Exactly. We're the Avengers.
And also it's like, I think it's our stream. Like I can just be myself.
That's
like I can just have fun with it. And I know that my team is, you know, you guys are going to be there to support me on camera. Unless I make a really terrible joke, then you guys all rag on me.
Yeah.
We do to distance ourselves as you get canceled.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, I get these like crazy nerves when I'm if I go on somebody else's podcast, especially if it's like a live thing,
because you don't have control.
I'm like, oh man, like I gotta, you know, present this like certain self and really like watch what I say. And I don't know what this audience is like. I don't know what they think of me. I don't know what sort of like prejudices they have against me. But it's our Twitch, it's our audience. I'm just going to give them myself and I don't need to work hard to be myself.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
So what I'm saying is I'm just not going to put any effort at all. No.
But you kind of hit it on the head there. I think when you're coming from a performance background that is scripted or produced or what have you, even if you have all the creative control there's still a mindset of like, how do I make this thing good? Whereas with Twitch, being yourself is the key and also can be the hardest thing if you're not used to that, because people are there to hang out with you in a live setting. And to me, that's really fun. And if you're being like the, hey, what's up, gamers? Today we have a good show for you. People click right off because you're not being real. I have only a little bit of that when I first start my Twitch stream because I feel this amp of excitement. So like, even if I'm like, what's up, everybody? Like, I'm actually that excited. And that's fun. That's fun for both parties. It's, again, like you're saying, changing the mindset. Like, it will not work for a live setting if you're trying to make it like
But it's also, I mean, it just goes down to like, just be yourself. And kind of like, you know, put yourself in the best mindset and present yourself the best way, but be yourself. And anyone that likes it will like it, and anyone that doesn't like it, like, that's okay. It's not for you. That is okay. Like, I'm not for you. I like cats and glitter and like bright colors. If that's not for you, that's okay. You cannot like the thing.
I've literally said that. I have literally said that on stream because if anyone's ever like trolling the chat, I try my best to like get them actually on board, because I'm like, you're trolling because you're like bored, probably. If you're doing it because you're bored, like, I mean, we're all bored. There's a bunch of us here that are bored, and that's why we're doing this. So, but I've had situations where people are like, you should do it like this, or why do you do it like that? And I've literally turned to the person in chat and just been like, look, man, like, I really like doing it like this. It's fun for me, and I think it's the way these people like it too. If that's not for you, Twitch. That's 1,000% okay. Like, and I'm not trying to be passive aggressive here. That is okay. I'll do other things on different days. Check out those other days. But if it's not your thing, like, thanks for popping in and saying hey, and I wish you well.
Exactly. Yeah. It's the same as like if I'm just scrolling through YouTube and like, oh, I want to try, let's find a new creator to watch. And eventually I figure, oh, this is not really vibing with me, or maybe I don't agree with what they say. I just click it off. I don't think there's any, value in kind of shitting on what people like to do. My light's just like flickered on, but it's just it's like clearly, you know, Damien, you're having fun on your stream. You wouldn't do it if you didn't like it, because it's your own thing. Because it's a lot of work. If I came in and started, why are you doing it this way? Like, why do we have to dim other people's lights in that kind of sense? It's like, if I really enjoy cats and glitter and whatever, why do you got to come on my party if you don't like it? Like, just go away.
Don't yuck somebody's yum.
Damn straight. Have you seen that? There was like a TikTok going around a while back where like it was just a girl talking to herself, but it's two different characters, and they're just like, I don't like your videos.
Oh, yeah, I did.
That's
I see
okay, man. That's fine. Yeah. I don't like it. And it's like, okay, well, you should watch someone else. And they're just like, it was just the perfect representation. Their shit.
And it's like, you don't was
that a woman personality?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She's like a cosplayer or like cool makeup artist or something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's much worse for women. especially in that regard.
Oh, 10,000%.
Where it's just like, why are you so angry? Why are you so angry at the content?
I just like don't. I mean, Chrissy Teigen, I like to quote her. She was just like, I think she tweeted the other day, you guys are like thieves of joy. Like, I'm just enjoying this thing and you're just coming on it. And I'm not hurting anyone. I'm just being like, hey, I like this brush. I like it. And then it's like, well, but you know there's other brushes. And you're like, okay, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that's not this. I just like this brush.
It's like this brush. Yeah.
I have a friend that also has a YouTube channel, and they're a woman, and they posted something on Twitter, and this guy just goes on this like whole rant about like, you know, you should post the link with this and this because it gets you more engagement on YouTube. And she's like, yes, I have been doing YouTube for many years. I understand how to use the platform.
Yeah, and that's how I view my personal social. Like, I obviously know how to optimize things. I obviously know how to make things like do better online. But for me, I am still able to enjoy social media as social media. And for me, I feel like I'm sharing a piece of my life. You see my cats in my apartment. That's very private. If you're coming to shit on me, I'm blocking you. I'm sharing something personal that I enjoy, and you're taking that opportunity to be a thief of joy. I don't want that. So I don't have a problem like blocking you because this is my thing. I'm enjoying this.
Are you familiar with the ignore button, by the way? Because it'll change your life. It's
the mute button?
Ignore, especially for like messages on Instagram. If you get something that you're not a fan of or it's inappropriate or whatever, you can hit ignore so they don't even know they're blocked, but you'll never see anything ever again.
Those are also
literally
great.
They will, I'm assuming, shout into the void their anger for years. And it'll never reach you. It's incredible.
You be putting out there. Like, it's not the energy that I've always believed. I'm a big believer in what you put in the universe, you get back. And if you're putting that crappy attitude out there, like you're not, and I'm not saying don't fight for the things you really believe in. Like, if that's something there, but like coming into my DMs and either being creepy, talking about my family, talking about things that I just genuinely enjoy in a shitty way. I don't have time for that. Not now, not never, not in 2020. Like, get the out with that attitude.
Yeah, I think Hank Green had a really good tweet recently about the difference between getting hate and getting harassment. It's not just relegated to women, but pretty much any woman on online that has any small amount of following has gotten harassment, like full blown harassment. I hope it changes one day. I really hope so. I'm not going to put all my eggs into the basket of it will change, but I hope that I guess you know, I want to put it out there that if you're harassing women online, we don't want you.
And if you're even questioning it, if you're even just being like, is this harassment or is this a little weird or is this taking it too far?
Probably
don't fucking do it. Like, don't do it. And it's like, obviously there are extreme cases. And as soon as I became on, like, we're showing up in more Smosh videos, like it is kind of crazy. The like unfortunate things that are happening and really like having to protect my mental health and create boundaries for myself. And it really sucks that some of the things out there are out there. Example, like fake nudes and stuff like that. It sucks that is a thing, and whatever age men and women or whatever think that that's okay to do, it's not okay to do. And it's just not. Challenge yourself to be a better person. Because at the end of the day, like, some of these people are doing it for attention, and that's kind of the difference between harassment and hate comments.
You can kind of see it if you go to their profiles. It's like you see they're targeting multiple people, and it's like, so you're just not like, what is this energy you're putting out there?
Yeah, use your energy like for valuable things, and like life is short. I put this on my Instagram story. Like, life is really short. If you're putting your energy into hateful, harassing, negative things, you're literally wasting everyone's time.
You can understand a mindset without condoning it, right? And which I think is an important distinction. Why, like, you can look at someone's profile and be like, they really need some attention. They're not getting anything. Like, I got a really nasty comment the other day in a DM, and I was like, just for fun, let's look at this person. And it was one of the rare cases where it was actually like a person and they actually used their own photo or whatever. Mm-hmm. But all of their photos was like, he was trying to like look toward the camera and be like, like trying to be like suave and all that stuff. And I'm like, nobody's seeing this, but you're really wanting someone to tell you something nice and they're not doing it. So you see me, and so you sort of have to bring me down a peg or two. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not okay that you're doing that, but I do understand why you got there. So work on it, you know?
Yeah, there's a lot of unwell people on
it is. It's
social
sad.
Media, and it's too bad that, you know, it's social media kind of encourages that behavior.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a new thing of like validation, kind of like outside validation is now more than ever, especially when it comes to influencers and everything like that. When we were growing up, there was no access to be validated on anything. Like, you were kind of validated by your inner circle, school, you know, bullies, teachers, your family. Like, that's where you kind of like seeked validation, and now you can seek it through the world, and you feel like everyone else is getting validation. Why can't I get validation? And I think that's really important to rewire your brain that validation doesn't come from the outside, it comes from the inside, as cheesy as that sounds.
Boom. No, it's true.
Yes.
You got to find your worth in the world. What is your worth in the world? Only you can find it. No one can tell you any different.
Yes!
Damn straight, Sarah Whittle.
Sing it from the rooftops, Sarah.
Yes, queen. But we're not, by the way, we're not giving you validation right now. I'm just saying.
It's not going to my head at all, because the whole time I was like, I can't wait to hold my cats after this.
I was thinking very much that I can't wait to go to the bathroom. So.
Well, then let's move it on to the end. So we're going to move on to the shoot dude. We got a double shoot. Oh, sorry. I had a burp between my...
Double shoot.
Now is not the time to apologize for that.
We got
a
back-to-back shoot dude, baby.
Shoot dude. Shoot dude.
Shoot dude.
Shoot dude.
Shoot dude. Shoot dude. Shoot dude. Shoot dude.
Shoot dude.
Ian, can you explain what a shoot dude is?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I can explain what shoot dude is. Like, when somebody does something and it's like real cringe, or it's like, oh no, I felt really bad for you. Or it's just something where you're like, damn, you did that. That is a shoot dude. So this first one comes from Matthew. A few years ago, I was working at Target as a cashier, and what seemed to be a mom and a child came through my register. The mom told me it was her child's birthday and she was turning 12 years old. Trying to be friendly, I excitedly said, "Nice, almost a teen." The way it sounded, though, was nice, almost 18. I was apologizing profusely as the mother gave me such a death stare. Shoot, dude!
Oh, that's a shoot, dude. That hurts me
18.
In my bones.
Oh my god, almost 18. Oh no.
That reminds me of
dude, that happens to me so often though. Not the 18 thing we're coming across.
What part of this happens to you?
But no, sometimes I say things because I'm a very blunt person. You guys know. It's my Korean mother in me.
Right.
And just being very blunt. And sometimes I say things and it sounds so mean.
Oh.
And I'm like, I didn't mean it that way. I was just like, it was my blunt communication happening.
I'm coming to terms recently with like, sometimes I have the same kind of issue where like, I will accept something and move on very quickly. And so I'll be like, great, next topic. But because that happens so fast and I'm not bringing someone along for the ride, it seems like I'll say something in like rebuttal. Well, where like I have an example of like when I was a teenager, my parents were like, hey, times are a little tough right now. We can't keep giving you allowance. And in my mind, it was like, oh, that's totally fine. But then I was like, oh, times are tough. Family's going through some issues. They talked about mom getting a second job. I kind of want to know what's up. Let's talk about that. So I was immediately like, okay, where's that second job happening for mom? And so it sounded like you can't give me allowance. Mom should get a second job. And I was like, no, like. It's so, God, we've all had those moments.
Yeah, dude, 18.
You should ask your mom for back pay.
18 is so funny. 18.
18.
Nice.
18.
Almost 18.
Oh my God.
I'm going to keep that in my brain because I feel like just in case I feel like that's something I could almost
don't comment
accidentally
on
say. Almost a teen. I don't know why I would ever say that
Oh,
though.
that's so funny.
Because that's
like,
still creepy. It's still kind of creepy.
I would
sounding.
say that. I would say, oh
Yeah.
my God, you're almost a teen.
Almost
but
a
it sounds
teenager,
like
like, yeah.
18. Yeah.
Especially if you're
Yeah.
like, I don't know, like English. Almost a teen. Oh, nice. Almost.
Nice.
It's like
That's Australian now.
Australian. Nice. Almost 18.
In
Yeah.
Australia, we call that 81 because we were upside down.
Oh, nice. Nice.
I'm sorry. No, actually, 18 upside down is still 18.
Oh, it is.
Okay, here's the next one. Comes from somebody that almost sounds like a city in Australia, like Adelaide. This person's name is Adeline. My grandma was in charge of sending out thank you cards from my great grandpa's funeral. She's in her late 60s and she's a little crazy. Now, I'm in the Mormon culture, so funerals are a huge deal, especially where I am at in Utah. So, of course, we need some bougie invitations. Oh, she wanted to send out a cute invitation that she designed. So she decided to put LOL on the front of the cards. Back in her day, LOL meant lots of love. So she had no clue that now it mostly meant laugh out loud. She ended up sending all 175-ish invitations before being told by my dad that she accidentally ended her funeral invitation with a big lol at the end. Let's just say that my family has had a laugh about that for the past few years. Wow. Can you imagine me like, I'm so sorry.
Shoot,
Oh,
dude.
crap.
Shoot, dude.
Shoot.
Holy
dude.
crap. That's so sweet.
That's
Oh my God.
hilarious.
That's so grandma.
I don't
I've heard
know.
of-
I don't
I've
know
heard of older
Adeline's
people.
grandpa, but I feel like Adeline's grandpa would have had a little laugh about that.
Yeah,
Mhm,
yeah. I think that seems like very appropriate for my family. Like we
Mm.
would all like. That's
I also imagine that like LOL was written all like intricately.
It's. Yeah,
and
I was
beautifully.
imagining like gold, like it's like raised off the paper. It's like but it sounds like she just signed it. At
It
the
has like
end,
little
LOL.
curlies on it.
What if she's
Oh,
just a
man.
huge League of Legends fan?
Oh yeah, yep. She's definitely a Teemo main for sure.
Sincerely, League of Legends.
Grandmas
Yeah.
are the best. They're precious.
Oh
Hold them
man,
tight. Call your grandma. I don't have a grandma.
I don't
I'm
have-
telling
I don't have-
people
I don't
who
have a grandma.
I
You
don't
just
have a
made
grandma.
You made this really sad.
I was
No,
like,
call your grandma. Call if she's around.
Call your
Call her
grandma.
what? Call her
Call
what?
your
Oh.
grandma.
What do I call her?
Grandma. Call her by her name.
Are we about? Or can we hold a Beyonce so we can
Yeah.
contact
Yeah.
Ambiance.
Exactly.
Beyonce?
All right, guys.
right.
Well, that does it for this SmoshCast. If you're not yet subscribed to the SmoshCast, please do so on any of your favorite podcast apps. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much. You see our faces. Hello. If you're listening to us on the podcast, you listen to us uncensored. Please rate us 5 stars on the app. Also, we talked about our Smosh Games Twitch. Check us out.
Yeah.
Check us
Monday,
when we're
Wednesday,
streaming.
Friday.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's a good time. Damien. Oh, the Twitch channel obviously is Smosh Games. Twitch.tv/Smosh Games.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Send us your shoot dudes to what's up? What's up, Damien?
Well, you said Damien and then you transitioned into something else.
Damien wasn't prepared for this question.
No, you literally went, hey, so Damien, and then he was like, what's the channel name? And you said, oh, and then said the channel name, and then
Oh, I have nothing to say to you, Damien.
He just wanted to
Nothing.
say your name.
So, Damien, send us your shoot dudes to shootdude@smosh.com. That's SHOOTDOOD@smosh.com. So, Damien, all right, thank you, Sarah, for coming on.
You did do that, Ian. And this is good. This is very good.
I have no idea what I was going to say to you, Damien.
Yeah,
I'm
you were
sorry.
like, so Damien.
you were like, check out our Twitch channel, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Damien, oh, the channel name? And I was like, okay.
We're doing it live.
I don't
We're
think so. I
doing
think you're
it
imagining.
live.
I think you're imagining that because you're losing blood out of your thumb.
That's also true, but also we're recording this, so
Roll the tape.
roll the tape.
So, Damien, I love you, buddy.
I'm gonna hang
I
up.
hope your thumb gets better.
Thank you. It won't. I'm gonna die.
We're all praying for you.
Thank you.
You should put fish skin on it. That helps burn victims. It's really cool.
Why would you bring this up as we're signing off? This should have been an hour and a half of the
I
podcast.
would assume that Kevin's gonna cut it a little earlier. later.
No, too late. I want to know about it. We're in it now. Add another 90 minutes to this podcast. Tell me about fish skin. Actually, I got to go to the bathroom. Goodbye, everybody.
That's fine. All right, Damien, Sarah, thank you so much. Check us out on
Thank
Twitch. Love you so much. Smosh.com. Get the newest merch. Love you so much. And bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.